include muscles of the torso that we were also looking at on the other model, okay? The deltoid is an arm muscle, okay, but it bridges the shoulder. So the arm muscles really that we're talking about, let me use better terminology, excuse me. This is the forearm, this is the arm, this is the pectoral girdle. All this is known as the upper limb. It's all the upper limb. So if I say arm, I should be speaking specifically of this location, okay? If I mean this thing, I mean upper limb. Okay, so let's do this. The deltoid we're pretty happy with, okay? I think most of us know it. It's then these here that we've already looked at. Remember, I'll go over them again. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, teres major, okay? So that leaves then 3 arm muscles. This one here, which is right there, anterior. This one here that's lateral on the humerus's lateral side, okay, that's an oxymoron. And then this is posterior. The biceps brachii gets its name because it has 2, what they refer to as heads, okay? It's a bicipital muscle. If you look up a definition of biceps, it means 2 heads. So then brachii modifies the word to tell us that we're in the brachial area, the arm. Okay? That's it there. One thing you'll notice on a skeleton, one of the heads of the biceps brachii has a tendon that goes right into the intertubercular groove of the humerus. That's why I asked you to learn it. On the side, the brachialis. Okay? Oh, by the way, biceps brachii on this model is in a number 11. And there's a number 14 on the brachialis. I can't really point the brachialis. All I feel is biceps and triceps, but it's about right in here. Triceps then, 3 heads. Tricepital muscle. Brachii then modifies triceps to tell us it's in the arm. Okay? So there's one of its heads. There's another tucked up underneath the, whatever that is. And then this one here. Thank you. You learned well. Triceps brachii. Okay? All right? You notice that these two oppose one another. I'm pretty sure that the brachialis is a synergist to the biceps brachii. Okay? So the things to remember there is that number of heads, that tells us whether we say bi or tri, and then brachii tells us that we're locating the muscle in a particular location. On the forearm, it's a little different. Okay? I think you can organize the forearm into this side here, which is anterior when we stand in anatomic position, and this would be called the flexor side. And then this is posterior, and this is what we'll call the extensor side. There's a reason for this. The muscles in here, many of them, the ones that we identify except for one, all flex, either wrist or fingers, okay? So muscles here flex the wrist, or they flex the fingers. And you can see that. As I move the fingers, you can see how the forearm muscles move, okay? Not all of them take on the name flexor, but some of them do. The next thing to consider then is, where does the muscle insert? So here is the tendon for this muscle here, and it seems to make it to about right into this area right here, which is the area of the wrist, the carpal area, okay? Finally, you can see that this muscle is on the lateral surface or lateral side of the forearm, which is the same location as the radius. Taking those 3 pieces of information, we have the flexor carpi radialis, okay? So number 23, flexor carpi radialis. Number 25 on this side then, same muscle as would be right over here. Flexor carpi ulnaris. Now some of them don't follow the same convention. Number 24, we follow its tendon. It attaches to a strappy membrane that is in the area right here of the palm. This one, number 24, is called palmaris longus. And then number 22 here is sort of an odd position. If you take a look, it has its origin, what looks like up here on the the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and then comes down and inserts on the radius, but crosses the joint in a weird way. That muscle's about like right here, and what it does is cause the radius to spin on its head. It goes from a supine to a prone position. Number 22 is pronator teres. Okay? So this is the flexor side, and two of the muscles get the name flexor, and then they are also taking names based on which side of the arm they're on, the ulnar or the radial side, and then where they insert. On this side, we can use some of the same kinds of logic. Here we have this muscle here. We have this one here, that one, and this one. So while we saw 4 on the flexor side, we're going to do 5 on this side. Okay, first one. Way up here on the lateral supracondylar ridge is the origin of this muscle that inserts down on the radius. Supracondylar ridge, inserting down on the radius. This one's called the brachioradialis. Okay? And in addition to helping out with flex, it does some other things. The number 19. The two right next door, 20 and 21. We've tried to follow their tendons and eventually we lose them. Take my word for it, the tendons of number 20 and 21 insert on the carpals. Okay, so the name's probably going to be carpi. These are all extensor muscles, or many of these are extensor muscles. They are extending either the carpals or the digits. Okay, you can watch the muscle there as it works. Okay, just simply as I extend my fingers, you can see the muscle contract. As I extend the wrist, I can see the muscle contract. So after the show's over then, we have this muscle here, extensor carpi radialis longus. It has a long tendon. And then number 21, extensor carpi radialis brevis. It has a shorter tendon. Brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis. This one down here, take a look at its tendons. They access at least 3 of the digits. It's an extensor muscle. Number 30 is extensor digitorum. The last one, number 32, is right here. It's on the ulnar side of the forearm. It's on the extensor side of the forearm. It inserts on the carpals, at least it seems like. This one is extensor carpi ulnaris. Let's do these again. Biceps brachii, brachialis, deltoid, triceps brachii, pronator teres, flexor carpi radialis, palmaris longus, flexor carpi ulnaris, brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor digitorum, extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay? You've got a lot on your plate. So spend the rest of the time making some headway on being able to identify these muscles. Eye, face, neck, torso, upper limb. When we return on Monday, we'll do lower limb and start the nervous system. And then we have a test coming up in the lab.